Uh-oh. That's Andra. That's gotta be Andra. Hair of Andra. Welcome, travelers of the internet, to Brighthelm Recording. This is your host, Master Barkle, playing the Pillars of Eternity. And last we left off, we had rested our final time after readying the cannons. We have, I think, all the support we're going to be able to get. Taking on the Eyeless. Some big, God-blessed, giants, let's just say that. And I think we're ready to go to Kairon Scar and put a stop to them. Though we do have to get out of here first. Whoop. Guessing that's the asteroid. Oh, this is because of us. Come on. Let's finish it. Is it because of us? I mean, I guess we did open up the White Forge and all that. Ringar berries. Got some Lagufoth. That's it. Well, that's the end of Chief Rending Maw. Wow. Of Constitution +4. Okay. Let's talk with the ghostly goo. Whoever this was, he's been long dead. What remains of the flesh that is blackened and frozen solid. This crater worries you and your 3 companions. It feels wrong, tainted, but the lure of riches is stronger. That giant rock in the center of the lake might contain gold, gems, and more. It took a week of back-breaking labor, but the boat is finished. It may not be entirely watertight, but it'll be enough to get you across the lake and back. You set off from shore, the icy wind filling the sail set on greens at you. He expressed the most doubt that the boat would float. A moment later, he's gone, barely managing a scream as a gigantic tentacle yanks him from the boat and under the water. More tentacles emerge from the water. The air is filled with the sound of cracking and splintering wood as the boat gets pulled apart. You dive into the water without a second thought and begin swimming madly for shore, hoping your friends are doing the same. Your heavy furs weigh you down, but by some miracle you make it to the land. You hear a burbling sound and look up to see one of the fish people, a Lagufoth, standing over you. With spear raised, you rise to your knees, your hands raised, showing you have no weapons, that you pose no threat. Lagufoth makes the sound again. Wait, you start to say, but the creature drives its spear deep into your chest before you can say anything else. Mercifully, the agony is brief before the world fades. Well, shame about it, eh? But we got a Kraken to deal with, which is possibly not that fun. Do you think the Eyeless have laid traps around this crater? Probably not. So I'm guessing the Andrites are camped out on this ridge up here. Or maybe it's just a little short. They did lay traps, those jerks. Resonant touch. This poor dog. He's gonna get jumped for no reason. He was just returning with the ball. They were playing fetch with him. Poor guy.
I can do that. That's settled.
And more traps. Goodness gracious. Cold water drips from the roof of this yurt and puddles in the hearth. Fish bones lie among the coals.
Keeping an eye out.
Mm-hmm. More traps. I checked it and everything. The trap still got me. It's pretty rough. Freezing rake. Goodness. Someone carved a swirling crescent into the bench. Yeah, they were Andrite fanatics. This yurt reeks of stale sweat. There's only one bedroll inside. The yurt is empty, but for a few heavy bedrolls. Yeah, this is where everyone else sleeps. That's Bubba's yurt. Okay. Dunk. What are you doing, boy? Okay. So this is slightly harder to get through, I guess. Alright, what do we need? A span of ice flows separates two larger sheets. The flows continuously roil the water and bump into each other with rhythmic cracks. Despite their unstable positions, the flows are packed tightly enough that it's possible you can leap across the span. Still, anyone short on grace and bounce stands a good chance of sliding off the ice and into the frigid water. We could just have Eyeless cast some magic. As you work your magic, the water between the flows crystallizes into a sturdy lattice of clear ice. Given the size of the flows, it's unlikely to keep the whole span stable for long. In fact, you can already hear a few of the larger pieces creaking against their temporary moorings. Well, it just gives us a little bit of a safety, I guess. Jump! Your weight causes a number of flows to crack and shift dangerously as you cross, but the magic holds enough that you aren't launched into the water. With careful deliberation and cautious movements, you reach the other side safely. Yeah, that wasn't too hard. But we ain't going back that way. Good job, Eyeless.
Laying low.
We sneak around? How well do you think those... He's so big!
That's not very helpful.
Bro. Took down that guy easy. Oh, is that guy easy? It's because I got the hammer, isn't it?
You're
Lagufal. And some Andrites. Have they teamed up?
Ulu Sen.
All right there.
Whew, good thing I sold most of my jewelry.
Okay, there's some more eyeless there. And some more.
weaknesses.
Yeah. That'd probably be smart. I find you buckle their kneecaps enough, they kind of just fall over and stop moving, stop struggling. So I presume that's a win. There's some tentacles. Fighting away tentacles with a big old maul.
That's it.
Done without the tentacle.
Could have done without the tentacles. Yeah, I agree.
Just say the word.
We all probably could have done without tentacles.
Not a problem.
But I don't think we get a choice in the matter. There's a boat. The planks have been peeled from the bow of this old fishing boat. Peeled. That's definitely a word to use. Goodness. What's that? You're not aggressive. What's he firing at? Oh, jeez. Okay. Dragon's Ball shields upgrading. Cool. I don't know if we're going to be knocking these guys prone, though. They're just a tad bit too tall for that. Well, this is pretty.
I'll see what I can find.
Gonna stealth through here, though, because could be some traps. Uh-oh. That's Andra. That's gotta be Andra. Hair of Andra. Columns of water rise up from the pool in front of you, shifting and writhing, whipping air around them in a vortex. This can only be Andra's hair, appearing before you at a fraction of the size typically reported by mariners unfortunate enough to encounter them on the high seas.
You have done well to have come so far. I confess I was not certain you would make it. But I do not wish to give false hope. The greater challenge remains in front of you.
This better not be an unpleasant surprise.
Running through the core of this rock is a large growth of crystal. You will know it when you see it. A blow to the crystal would reverberate through the walls of this place. Strike it enough and the entire structure would crumble.
The structure
The Eyeless would be buried.
would crumble.
Of course, it would take a person years to cause enough damage.
Years?
In ordinary circumstances. But you will not be acting alone. Strike the crystal with Obidon's hammer. The Eyeless will wake and come to its call. Join in striking the crystal.
Oh. So we do that just the once and then run out.
They will cluster together and bury themselves.
That's smart.
I have realized it is best that they should be ended, for within each of them is a small piece of Obidon himself. Upon their deaths, those fragments and the memories they contain will be safely dispersed. I had not considered the dangers of allowing them to persist, until a watcher appeared at my abbey.
Okay. It feels like you're still not telling me things since you waited this long.
A single strike upon the crystal will not be enough. The Eyeless respond only as long as the hammer rings.
And when they start striking, the structure's gonna crumble.
You will need to remain until their work is complete, wielding the hammer until the walls come crumbling down.
You mean for me to die here?
Your sacrifice will be mourned, but your fate is already sealed. The Eyeless cannot be reasoned with or fled from. One day not far from now, they would kill you and level the Deerwood. You have seen what they will do. This is the way you can stop them. And the truth is that you are marked by the Eyeless for a reason. It would be better for all if the things you have seen were forgotten.
A bad way to go. Maybe we should just hang ourselves.
Yeah.
A clean slate for us and the world. Maybe that's not such a bad thing.
Only one of us has to die. The watery columns drop all at once back into the pool, sending up a small splash. The pool settles, and looking down into it, You see only the faces of you and your companions, alone and condemned. I was wondering when those footsteps were going to mean something. Alrighty. Well, this is grim tidings. Suppose I'm gonna go mad and die one day. Man, this hammer is really great for taking them down. Oop. Location discovered. Cool. Judging by claw marks and scales around the edges of this pool, you believe it's regularly used by Lagufath. You see something shimmering in the depths of the frigid, murky water. I mean, I might as well get one last chance in to get some water. You dive into the water and immediately feel the cold bite into your skin. It's incredibly frigid, rapidly sapping the warmth from your body. The water is calm, but a person with a weak constitution would suffer greatly if submerged for more than a few moments. Well, they don't call me for the tall stag for a weak constitution. You shrug off the intense cold and dive toward the light, glinting in the murky depths of the ice cave. You quickly recover a cache of Lagufath treasures, including a variety of coins and a set of surprisingly well-preserved plate greaves. Unfortunately, the disturbance of the horde was noted by a pack of Lagufath that are swimming over to investigate. Hiding from the Lagufath will be difficult, but attempting to outswim them would require phenomenal athletic ability. Well, I'm sure they could just, smell me out in the water. I'm just gonna swim. You launch yourself off the bottom of the ice cave and begin to swim toward the surface. Fortunately, you aren't a strong enough swimmer to escape a band of determined Lagufath. Two of them catch up with you and claw at one of your legs. You barely manage to crawl out of the pool with the mangled limb still attached. Moments later, furious Lagufath erupt from the pool. It's alright, we got an Eyeless here to shoot one of them big needles at him. Maybe we'll take care of myself. I think, anyways. Yeah, it feels like we're making some good progress. Here's the center of the room. That the crystal formation? Well,
You ready for this?
you're getting cut out a lot, bud. I'm pretty sure we're jumping down into a boss fight with a crack and probably a ridge overlooks a broad chamber half flooded with lake water. You could crawl down this way, but it looks too steep and slick to climb back up. Yep, Kraken. Would have a word with a salty wench when this is over. Andra? Okay. You need to swap weapons. Adair, you can just go straight for it. Tunk, you can just go straight for him. Mainha, let's have you flank around. Durance, Aloth, pull back a little bit. Oh my goodness. We don't need you there. Go for him, Mainha. Go for him. We need to smack the big guy, the big fish.
How may I help?
Okay. Oh, crap. Sorry, Rollen. Get that hammer out. Approach the Eyeless.
That's it. Death to our
Batting them
enemies.
around. There we go. Just some minor fatigue. The Kraken's down. Yeah. That was a fairly alright fight.
Not a problem.
Do we not get to loot the Kraken? Well, that's sad. Anyways, we got some level ups to do. Here comes the moment.
Just say the word.
Okay, I was worried the game just crashed there. An enormous crystal juts from the wall like a spearhead protruding from a wound. An army of reflections stares back at you. From the crystal's perfect facets, it echoes the sound of your footsteps in soft, ringing hums. Someone will have to take up Abingdon's hammer and strike the crystal. And Andra warned that whoever does so will be buried in this place with the Eyeless. Whom do you choose? I'm gonna go crazy and end up like Mayorwald one day. Might as well be me.
You have led us bravely. It has been an honor to follow your lead.
Don't make me cry, Aloth.
Really have it in for you. I wish they knew you like I did.
A great act of freedom. Your body will suffer for it, but your soul will flourish. Always, I will remember your example.
Your chances aren't favorable, but at least you've learned to embrace the test. I told you I'd be good for you, Watcher.
You're a brave soul. Wish I'd met you sooner.
You heft the hammer and swing it at the crystal. A perfect, clear tone rings through the air and resonates through your teeth. Seconds later, ripples shiver through the water. Something big is coming. You give the others a final nod. The rest of the party scrambles out of the flooded cavern and flees through the tunnels. You continue hammering at the crystal, each strike magnifying the last. The echoes build into physical tremors. Meanwhile, a heavier rhythm pulses through the cave. Footsteps, dozens of them. The others round a corner only to see a line of Eyeless advancing. The creatures stagger to the rhythm of the hammer thuds below, yet they crane their necks toward the party, ratcheting back their piston arms. All they can do is dodge past the Eyeless and hope that the Eyeless respond to my call. The party barrels through the monsters. However, one of them grazes Durrance with a mace-like fist in passing. Fortunately, the creatures are too focused on the hammering to give chase. They continue toward the cavern. You maintain a steady tempo on the crystal. Eyeless gather in the cavern, where they batter the walls in time with the hammer's rhythmic blows. The ground shakes, falling rocks and shattering crystals splash to the ground. The party flees through dark, rumbling corridors. More spellbound Eyeless shamble along, but they're too entranced by the swelling cadence to take more than an idle swipe at the party. The tunnel narrows, light filters through ahead. The exit must be around the next bend. But it's clogged with rubble. Meanwhile, the ground drops several feet at once and the tunnel begins rolling on its axis. The distant sound of rushing water echoes from the cavern. I guess I guess Maynard can use Frenzy and smash up the rubble. The only one who could do it. Fury descends and fills Zawa's body with desperate violent strength. Zawa bashes a path through the rubble. Though it's Mainha. Okay. The moon shudders again. The party escapes onto the ice just as another thunderous crash sounds from below. Eyeless continue pouring into the cavern. From every visible tunnel and crevice, your ears ring at the ever-growing cacophony of smashing rock and shattering crystal. Meanwhile, the water level is rising. A skull-splitting crack rends the air, and a surge of water knocks you from your feet. The entire cavern rotates, plunging you into a freezing soup of jagged metal, torn flesh, and stone. The others dash across the lake. The ice squeals and crackles, rocking dangerously underfoot. The sinking moon groans. Long fissures race across the ice. I don't think you want to stop. I think you just want to keep on going. Everyone runs as fast as they can while sheets of ice fracture and splinter all around. However, Durance steps on a split and plunges into the freezing water. Durance manages to climb back out, shivering violently. It's always you, Durance. At last, everyone reaches the safety of the shore. In the middle of the lake, only the tip of the moon is still visible above the ice. The survivors watch in silence as it sinks into the depths. The world seems to be falling apart in slow motion. You sink into the lake alongside the dark shapes of moon fragments and crushed eyeless. Your limbs ache and your lungs burn. Sparks flicker across your vision. Not sparks, scales. Lagufoth gather in front of you, and you notice something unusual in the iridescent eyes. Spark of uncommon intelligence. You hear a whisper in your mind. Freed us from our prison in Durgan's battery. Consider our debt repaid. Lagufoth, possessed by the spirits of Maroon and some of the other Pargrunans, swarm and rush you to the surface. At last you reach the shallows. You punch through a thin crust of ice and crawl ashore, trembling but alive. You stand at the edge of the lake. The bobbing of the ice and rippling of the water's surface slows until you're looking at a moment frozen in time. When the world begins moving once more, it moves in reverse. Yeah, near-death experience will do that to you. The surface of the water churns and roils like it's about to spew something up. And it does. The fragment of Ioni Brathier rises unbroken. Ice reforms across the surface of the lake, spreading in long, freezing fingers. Eyeless file out of the moon fragment and onto the ice. They wind around the moon in an ever-widening spiral. My goodness. It doesn't end. They stop as the head of their line reaches you. They speak in a single voice that resonates with grinding metal and hissing steam.
We shatter and sink, discarded like worn tools. Why have you consigned us to oblivion?
You would have destroyed Cadnua, Durgan's battery, and more. Their protest is as sharp as squealing metal.
Blasphemy! These are jewels of civilization. They are sacred. We would sooner sacrifice our own bodies than dislodge a single stone from such a place. Why do you torment us with baseless accusations?
Andra changed you from a preserver to a destroyer. The Eyeless are still, but you hear their gears whir as their collective spirit ponders this.
Then we were betrayed.
Yes, you were transformed against your will.
And we were made to betray something we cherish.
The legacy of the Anguithans?
The bedrock of civilization.
Suddenly, they attack the ice beneath them, slicing and shattering it with mighty swings from their iron arms. Where the ice breaks, ancient towers rise, blotting out the blue sky and white peaks. Andra wanted Anguithan civilization forgotten.
Better for her tides to ebb and her seas to dry up than to cover a single stone the Anguithans laid.
The ice shakes with the fury of the Eyeless.
Each culture builds on the bones of the last. Yet many only look up at where they would go, never down at the foundations that bear them.
I do agree.
Like a mason who builds a listing tower.
The remaining ice sheet cracks and groans.
What peril do they inflict on their progeny? And what dishonor on their forebears?
You hear the strain of crumbling stone in the voice of the Eyeless. The betrayal of memory upsets you greatly.
It is accepting a gift only to spit in the face of the giver. Every advance in the crafts and institutions of Kith was forged by skill and sacrifice.
You feel these words and the anger behind them in your bones.
A people cut off from their history will wither, and they deserve no less.
No, they'll be free to choose their own path.
A path that leads in circles.
Most often, yeah.
That is why we must return to ourself and restore Abidan.
Restore Abidan? Very well. Return to yourself and be the god of preservation once more.
We shall see this world and its people restored.
Great wind shoves at your back. Your ears pop and you feel for a moment as if all of their air is being sucked from the sky. Suddenly it ends. You are standing in the snow, looking over Kairan's scar.
The Eyeless disappeared beneath the lake, their bond to Andra finally severed. With this threat ended, hope returned to the White March. Hunters returned to the wildernesses, and travelers to the roads. Tales of the Watcher's bravery replaced stories of monsters in the woods. The villagers of Stalwart busied their hands with work and their tongues with song, eager to seize on the promise of peace.
That'd be nice. Echo of the Maker. Faux AoE on vessels just scares them. Goodness gracious, it's now mythic. Plus 65% damage and 18 accuracy. Good God.
Ready when you are.
But it's done. The Eyeless are no more. And perhaps Abidan will be rebuilt soon. I guess let's return to Stalwart. Tell the people. A few town guards stand arrayed around a sprawled corpse. One of them turns as you approach, giving you a nod. It never ends, does it? You've got an uncanny sense of timing, Lord Rollen Tallstag. This one's here's been after you all day. That sounds familiar. That's me. I'm very popular with the dead. Right. Not sure popular's the word. Seems like she had it out for you. She got nervous in a hurry when we happened by. Nearly took Royland's head off. Assassins aren't exactly out for me. Well, I mean... Oh, out of the ordinary for me. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because the leaden key doesn't like me. A little bit. Well, I'd suggest having a look at what she was carrying, see if you recognize anything. You might have mentioned that before. A woman's cooling corpse lies half buried in the snow. The cause of death is clear. A narrow wound under her throat. The essence here is already faint. Fading fast. Well, let's reach out then. You plunge into a cold darkness, scattered images sliding past before you can grasp more than an echo. And then, light. Sunlight filters down through gaps in the canopy, illuminating short stretches of the bog. Mud and knee-deep water foul each step. Your legs are already tired, and you've barely started. You must resign yourself to discomfort. You'll come to the river soon enough. Follow it as it bends north. It is a mantra in your thoughts. Reach Stalwart. Find the Watcher. Follow him. Retrieve the phylactery. The phylactery of, what's his name? Oh, he was that memorable lich that I forgot his name. He's one of the great archmages. He was, not Ninagoth, not Minoletta, not Sitzal. He was... Who was he? Calicoth? No, not Calicoth. I can't remember. Consulhat's killer will not fall easily. But if you are careful, that task will not fall to you alone. Your master will deal with the Watcher. It is only a matter of time. Master? The memory slips away, returning you to the familiar sight of Stalwart Village. Perhaps stirred into flight by your perusal, the soul essence begins to dissipate, fading from your sight. The memory of the dead woman's journey lingers with you, however. To the southwest, beyond the White March, there lies a bog, and an enemy awaits you there. That's fantastic. Well, it never ends, do it? And there you have a thrilling episode of Pillars of Eternity. We've survived taking down the Eyeless and Karen Scar, and finally a success. We are no longer in danger, and oh wait, there's assassin after me again. Oh, we'll deal with the bog next time. But for now, success. Success is the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out. This is Master Barkle from Brighthelm Recording, signing off.